This is Chicago Wildcat breaking news. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Benjamin Warner live with a special edition of Wildcat Wisdom to cover the breaking news that happened yesterday at around 4:30. Two cuts from the Chicago Wildcats: J.C. Torres, the wide receiver, and Maurice Spurgeon, the free safety, longtime players on this team. Khalil, I was shocked at this news.
Yeah, when I saw it come across, my text messages and all the messages, I was like, wait, what just happened? But we definitely got two great additions to the Wildcats as we push forward towards hopefully a championship.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. Big shoes to fill, though, because Maurice Spurgeon had over 558 career tackles, 32 interceptions. J.C. Torres, over 200 receptions in his career and over 3,000 yards. But the guys we have now, they're going to fill these shoes. And please welcome to the show, Greg Soto and Tim Hackett. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
Hey, doing great, guys. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks.
So, guys, what has your SFL career been like so far? Tim, if you want to go first, you're welcome to.
Sure. Okay. Well, my SFL career has been a whirlwind so far, to be honest with you guys. I mean, I've only been part of the league since April. I wasn't really sure that I would be interested in being a player necessarily. I signed on as a broadcaster, working with somebody that you and the Chicago Wildcat fans know very well, Mike Prota, and between him and Shan and having a conversation with some other people around the league, they convinced me that it would be a fun idea to be a player, a worthwhile endeavor. And then Mike and Shan specifically convinced me that being in Chicago was the place to be. So it's neat for me to be able to return home, if you will, to a place that has been my home for much of the last 5 years. I've since moved away, but it was my home for 4 years, and it's really awesome to be part of such a cool team, and I just hope to live up to the billing.
Greg?
Yeah, and for me, I also started in April. I actually I was a fullback when I started for the Annapolis Navigators. I started in the SFLM. And I was there, and then I started going through the interview process with some teams and reaching out to see what they were looking for. And Mikey and Prota, he talked to me, and he kind of liked the interview. And same thing, he got Shan on the phone, and they kind of convinced me to take this step and come join the team in this capacity. So I went ahead and I dropped my rookie build, and I decided to forego the draft and just have patience and trust in Shan and Mikey. And here I am. I couldn't be more happier than I am right now to join the team. And it feels good to have to be unleashed, as I like to say. I've been having to be quiet and per league rules and so forth of the decision for like the last 2 months. So I'm really happy to be able to openly being able to talk about it and promote Chicago.
So this goes for either Tim or Greg. You're coming in, we're already 2 games into the season. You're replacing major cogs on the Wildcats. Do you guys feel any pressure to perform right away to make your presence felt, especially going to a game tomorrow against St. Louis? Either one of you guys can take the question.
I do. This is Greg. Yeah, I definitely do, because I think, and Tim can say, but he could stop me if I'm wrong. But we're definitely filling big shoes, and we're coming in high value too. So anytime a player build has a high value, regardless, it is simulation, but regardless, you feel pressure. And even so, if we're part of the scouting team, which I am as well, and knowing now that there's a player out there that that has my name on it. There's pressure. But I'm looking forward to it.
And Tim?
Yeah, no question. I mean, I completely agree with everything Greg said. I doubt that I'm going to refute you and tell you that you're wrong, Soto. You know what's up for sure. But, I mean, I definitely feel the same way. I mean, especially in the position that I'm in, literally the position on the field as the free safety, replacing a guy like Mo Spurgeon, who has been such a big piece of the SFL and a big piece of what Shan Varner has done in his career for so long. I mean, the pressure is right there for me off the field in terms of those kinds of intangibles, longevity, impacts, and then also on the field. He's such a well-known player for just his career exploits. He's been around for so long, like I've already said. So, I mean, I can only hope that I can take the first step to fill in the shoes of a guy like that. And I'm honored to have been considered to fill that role, and I'm excited to join the team with Greg this week and get to work. But yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of pressure to perform immediately and help this team get back to the playoffs.
So this question's for Greg. Greg, welcome to the offense. It's going to be awesome to be with you on the field and the offensive side of the ball. What are you going to bring to this offense to make it the best in the league?
Well, now you're asking me as the player,
as a player.
Well, as a player, right off the bat, the deal that was done, the contract that I signed as a player, my player is completely almost maxed out. So even though I came in as a silver, I don't have any animations or anything like that, but it is a silver and is a high value silver. All the attributes are maxed out with the exception, I think, of one thing. So I feel as a player, I need to hit the ground running. I'm excited. It's going to be I'm going to test. I'll tell you what, I'm pretty confident in the build in what we put together in that contract. And every secondary is on notice. And St. Louis is my first target this weekend. So Gladiators, secondary, get ready. It's my party, and it's our party this week and our coming out party for me and Tim. So, but on the offensive side, secondaries are warned.
So, Tim, you mentioned how you kind of got into this as a broadcaster, and I know I just joined a team this year as well. And you talk to Shannon, it's like you kind of want to run through a brick wall for this guy from the first conversation. What was his sell job to you to say, listen, we want you on Chicago? Because I know he sold me right away. How quick were you like, okay, I'm good to go now?
That's a fantastic question. Pretty much right away. Mike and Proto put me in touch with Shan. I mean, if I remember the timeline correctly, I think after our second broadcast together in the SFLM late this spring. So, I had been officially part of the league for 2 weeks. And then I talked with Shan, and he was on the phone with me some night, I want to say on like a Thursday night, for an hour and a half or so, just telling me about the league, how things worked, how he got started, what he looks for in teammates and players. And I was just convinced that he ran things in a good way. And I think that's a cliche that you hear a lot from rookies across sports, but this is also a cliche, but I believe it. Mike spoke extremely highly of Shan, and just for how little time I had known Mike going into that conversation, I believed that Mike had a good judge of character, was a good judge of character, and he said, "You'll like Shan. You guys will have a lot in common." I said, "Okay, if you say so." And then 90 minutes later, after I get off the phone with Shan, he was right. No surprise. So. I mean, I don't know if I remember what specifically sold me, but he kind of laid out the whole groundwork of how he wanted me to come into the league if I was interested, and kind of outlined a path for me, and said, here are some of your options. And when the time gets closer, we'll see, how it might work out. And he said, are you interested? And I said, yeah, absolutely. So kind of just progressed from there. But yeah, no question. He convinced me pretty soon on.
Hey, Khalil, real quick, you want the real answer?
Yeah, give me the real answer.
The real answer, after all of that, then Shan asked him, do you want to take the next step in your bromance with Mikey? And that's all it took. And Tim said, sign me up.
Well, look, I mean, as I said, I wasn't really interested in being a player from the jump, but talking with Mike throughout the last however many weeks it's been, time flies when you work with Mike and Proto.
I know.
He convinced me that it would be fun. He has so much fun just being a part of this league, as you can tell just from having any sort of interaction with him. And it's contagious. And I wanted to share in that as well. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, starting off my player career working with Mike and Shan,
Yeah.
who are really the two folks that I've gotten to know the best in this league so far in my less than 3 months actually being a part of it. Okay, less than 4 months. I can't do math, as we've established. Well, either way, those are the two guys that I know the best. And with that in mind, I wouldn't want to start anywhere else.
Greg, last question for you. What was it like to get a shout out from the son of Hall of Famer Walter Payton?
That was so cool.
Yeah, that was cool. That was really neat. Yeah, that was just awesome. I think I've already shared it on my Twitter, on my Facebook. So yeah, it's awesome. And you know, and being also, I'm a diehard Miami Hurricanes fan. I've been for a long time, and not only the tie to Chicago and being in the Chicago Wildcats, but also the Miami Hurricane tie kind of deal. And I actually saw him play down in Florida when I lived in Florida. I currently now live in Indianapolis. I got to see him play at Miami. So it's just really neat. It's just really cool.
I don't have a question. I just want to welcome you guys to the team and just say, let's go Wildcats. Let's get those dubs. Let's win some
Definitely.
Let's go.
Go Wildcats, everybody.
Let's
Thank
go.
you for having us.
Thank you guys for being on the show, and welcome to the team.